Welcome to the Lights Camera Pro podcast, where we interview entertainment pros about their careers and how they became successful in the industry. The secrets to their success here every week. Here's your host, Sean Ventura.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Lights Camera Pro podcast. I'm your host, Sean Ventura, and I just want to say go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and subscribe, rate, and review. Today we have a very inspirational guest. Her name is Aleksandra Di Gesaro. She is a photographer, she is an artist, and she's also a filmmaker. She has so many stories. It's gonna be fun. Here we go. Hey everybody, this is Sean Ventura of the Lights Camera Pro podcast, and I'm here with Alex, who is a fashion photographer, an entrepreneur, and a writer. We're gonna get into her. She even made a short film, so she's a filmmaker. We're gonna get into all that today. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Hi Sean, thank you for having me here. I'm super excited and I'm doing great.
Great. So Alex, I'm so excited because you do so many things. I love people who do lots of different things. Like I am a writer, actor, director, podcaster, doing a million things. So I love it when people do a bunch of stuff, but let's talk about your fashion photography first. I did this thing where I brought in your photos because they're beautiful, and for you to describe them without seeing them is just really bizarre. So can I just bring up a few here and you'll talk about them?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. So do you want to talk about this photo? It's so beautiful, and the horse. And
So this was a photo shoot I organized for fun with my friend from photography school, and because she was going horse riding a few times a week, and she had this friend who was riding so well, and she said, would you like to come with me and take pictures of this girl on the horse? Let's make a photo shoot on the horse. So I asked my other friend, who is a stylist, to borrow me a dress that would be big enough, because here you can't see, but this dress was really big, was covering the whole back of the horse. Mm-hmm. And we just, we went there. It was obviously a little difficult taking pictures with the horse. She was going all around us and trying various, things and various actions with the horse. I also have pictures when the horse is standing only on its back legs. And it was mm-hmm. It was something completely new. It was my first photo shoot with a horse, so it was more like she was going around and we were trying to catch as she moves, trying to get it natural, and it was challenging also, not to be in. Not to have any accident with the horse.
Right. So let me ask you, because this is a very high-end photograph. Like I'm not an expert, but I have lots of friends who are photographers. And what camera are you using? Are you using there's no lighting, you're just opening up the aperture? What exactly are you doing to get that kind of photograph? Are you using the old lenses in some way, or what is your secret, or do you not want to tell it?
No, I don't have problems with that. I'm a total equipment minimalist. I believe in knowing one lens very good and one camera very good, and I believe you can really do achieve a lot with one camera if you know it well. So instead of experimenting with various cameras, various lenses, I really have one. So this one, if I remember well, this was taken with Nikon 610, and the lens is 50 millimeters 1.4. And I just prefer the natural light. Now I'm starting to use a bit of flash, but I'm very good with natural light because at the beginning when I was starting, I didn't have any money for studio or flash or any lights. So I just had to use what I had. And that's how I learned. And this is actually, I prefer the natural light. I believe that if you can play it well, it looks the best. And yes, this one is completely natural picture, just taken with my camera of me standing somewhere in the grass and trying not to get under the horse.
Right. So did you I don't know the correct, I'm a video editor, so color correction is the correct term for video. I don't know the term for, did you colorize this photograph at all, or is that the natural color?
Obviously, I did the post-production. So, and I also take pictures in RAW. So the colors are naturally more gray because so that later it's the basis for post-producing. So yes, I made obviously some color correction, adding contrast and color to make it gain this depth that you can see.
Yes, so cool. All right, so let's do another one. So this one here, tell us about this.
It's in Venice, and actually we took this picture. We were planning to shoot with this dress in another location, but they didn't let us in because in Venice it's very difficult, even if this was another non-commercial photo shoot. It was just of me and my friends. Even if we said, okay, it's just for personal use, the pictures, they didn't let us in because they said, we have to take care of our image, etc. But, there are all the tourists that go there and post all the pictures tagging this place, and they didn't let us in with the model beautifully dressed. So we were a bit disappointed. We just went to the St. Mark's Square, and we were shooting, and it was a completely accidental shot with the pigeon. I just saw the pigeon flying, and I took a picture. And later, I checked my screen. And I was like, I took the pigeon, and the tourists started laughing of me. Can I see it? So that's behind the scenes of this picture.
Right. Very cool. Well, I love it. And I saw somewhere on your blog or your website that you said that someday you want to have your pictures in Vogue. And let me tell you, I'm not an expert, but these photos are definitely Vogue quality.
This is on my list, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I my goodness, I'm surprised they haven't called you because it's not easy to take these kind of pictures, is it? Do you think it's easy?
No, I just think it's... there's a lot of intuition in these pictures because it's not that I changed so much the way I'm taking pictures now that I was taking before, but I think I learned to see, and actually my intuition and subconscious, and don't know how to call it, sees faster than my brain, and I just know when to take a picture and how to take it to make it look like this.
Yes. And there's a very similar thing with video editing where it just flows, and it's almost like the shoot is telling you where to cut. You're not deciding where to cut. The sound and the music in the picture is just suggesting to you where you should cut. So it's a similar thing. I totally understand it. I know what it's like to be an artist.
It's definitely for example, even today I posted a post on Instagram about one picture where, I didn't have really a plan for this photo shoot. These were test photos of a model for an agency, and we just went to the park, and suddenly, there were those nice flowers and the other flowers, and suddenly, after a few shots, it appeared, we are doing Alice in Wonderland. But it wasn't the idea. I just came out after we started shooting, but really later the whole photo shoot seemed like Alice in Wonderland.
Right, and it's very organic. I get that. Okay, so this, I don't want to critique your photos at all because they're excellent, they're amazing, but this seems like more of a fashion shoot and more of something you would see in a fashion magazine. Was that your intention to do that?
Yes, this was a fashion shoot. This was a photo shoot for a model agency. So we had a stylist, and we took this picture here in Milan. It's actually right close to the Duomo of Milan. There are always these taxis, and I just sit in the middle of the road and try not to get hit by any of them. But yeah.
I thought it might have been in Florence because there's a train station in Florence where all the cars line up, but it's in Milan, right?
Yeah.
All right. So are you having fun with this, or is this horrible to talk about?
No, I like talking about the pictures, and their backstage is usually very, very, very interesting and fun.
Right.
So
Okay,
I enjoy talking about.
Yeah, let's do a couple more, and then we'll go to this one is the one with the balloons, but it's the one where she has her leg up in the air and she's in front of like a pink bush. And we'll talk about. I definitely want to hear about your short film, and I want to hear about your books and about your blog and what you do with people to help them be more creative. But let's talk about this one with the balloons. How did this come about?
So this was a photo shoot I made in Warsaw. This is actually on a roof of a library in Warsaw. There's a very beautiful garden. And I had this model of an agency that I had to take pictures of. And actually, I contacted them for another project that I did a week before. Just they answered me too late, and I already had another model for that project. So I didn't want to disappoint them. So I said, okay, I can make another project with your model as well. And I was really excited because the girl is a dancer. And I love taking pictures of dancers. So I thought, okay, let's play with it. Let's do something about it. And then I had the idea with the balloons and, this thing like flying, jumping, dancing with the balloons. I bought, I don't remember actually how many balloons, and later I just arrived to the park before, and I was sitting there with the gas bottle and filling in all the balloons so that they fly. Mm-hmm. And the model calls me, where are you? I'm like, I have a green car and there are all the balloons on top of it. It's difficult not to notice me. And when we were shooting, there were like all the kids coming to me, can I buy a balloon? Like from the park was full. It was the evening, and all the kids were coming to me and saying, "Honey, I will give you those balloons. Just first I have to finish the shooting." And there came also some engagement photo shoot. Can we borrow the balloons for a moment? So everybody was into balloons, and they worked perfectly. And eventually, yes, I gave them to the kids in the park.
Very cool story. Awesome. Well, I love the photo. I love the. It's kind of like there's some muted colors in here, but then there's also the balloons are very vibrant and the green. Are you messing with that with the color correction once again?
Yes, I do a lot of color post-production because, in photography school, what they taught me, we were actually analyzing paintings. And we were analyzing the colors in the paintings that sometimes, the painting seems quite plain, but if you look well in the highlights, there is red, in the background there is green, and this contrast between the opposite colors make the image deeper. And I use this a lot in my pictures because I try not to make so much photoshopping, like, doing photo montage and changing the reality, but what I add is the contrast and the color to achieve this effect.
Right. And are you able, this is a very dorky question, but I'm going to ask it. Are you able to isolate like the balloon color and isolate the bush color when in your program? What program are you using?
I use Photoshop and Lightroom, and yes, I can. I can do it. In general, I work on the images on the colors of the whole image, but at times this correction of each point is also helpful if there is something really, really disturbing. And now you are more into video, I'm more into photos. Now that I'm editing videos, I'm searching for the same tools and I'm trying to achieve the same things with videos, just it's more difficult with the moving image.
Yeah, it is more difficult. Definitely. You need the higher end resolve to do it, and the higher end flame and smoke and those kind of things. But you can do it. I work in Premiere. You can do it a little bit in Premiere. You can definitely do overall, but it's hard to get that secondary color correction.
I was using DaVinci lately, and I was managing to do more correction of each color separately.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't messed with Da Vinci. I have a friend, Mark, who works in it in New York City. He works for Showtime, and he works on the show Homeland and some other Showtime shows. And he has gone from being a effects person to a Da Vinci Resolve color correction. He calls it color grading, and he grades the entire show. Like you said, he gets raw footage, which is like a dull, milky gray, and then he can pull the colors out of it. And it's a very cool thing. I messed around with it for a couple years, but it's you have to be very detailed and want to get into details. And
yes, and you need a very good screen, and you have to be like have really fresh eyes, because after you watch it for a while, the colors seem the same.
Yeah, everything kind of, you need to take a break and go outside and look at the sunshine and the grass. Okay, so we're going to do my favorite photo, just so you could talk about it. This is a beautiful photo. Just tell us about where it is and how. Was it a windy day, or is someone pulling that thing with strings? How did this photo happen?
So this picture is taken in the very center of Warsaw. Yes, I see it now. Yes, it's in the very center of Warsaw. And it was a photo shoot that I called the Flowers and the City. And because I've seen some pictures of Solve Sonsbo that were like few dresses, one on each other, and the models jumping. It was the photo shoot in the studio, and I just loved the effect that the girls look like flowers. And I contacted this stylist and said, hey, I would like to try it. Just as I love shooting on locations, I want to do it on location. And so this photo shoot was postponed a few times. Actually, we were really, really lucky. It was a very windy day, but the model was also very, she was a really great model. So she was also making all the material fly, jumping, and posing at the same time.
Okay.
There was also a makeup artist and a stylist and a hairdresser. So in case if there was too little wind, they were helping from the sides. But as I remember, in this case, it was just the model and the wind.
Very cool. I love it. I love the contrast of the pink and the gray, and she's beautiful and the dress is beautiful. It's just a beautiful photo. I mean, you definitely capture moments. For sure.
Yeah, this is my favorite picture.
This is your thing, capturing moments, because you definitely do it, and you do it really well. So let's talk a little bit about, you made a film. You are a filmmaker. What was your film about? So,
actually before I was taking pictures, I dreamed about being a filmmaker. I started taking pictures because it was just easier, and I didn't get into film school back in Poland, but it stayed there. So actually on weekends I'm attending a film school here in Milan. And so I made this short film a year ago. This year I was supposed to shoot another one, just there was the lockdown, so I don't know when I will shoot the next one. So my short film is 8 minutes, and it's called Mr. John. And it's about this middle-aged man that has very boring, very organized life, that one day notices the imprint of lips on a glass, on a window, and starts fantasizing about a woman who left it and how did she leave it there. And because of this, he doesn't notice his neighbor who is trying to talk to him and get closer to him.
And what did you shoot it on, if I can ask? Like, what was the camera? Were you using a DSLR to do that because you're a photographer?
No, it was the camera we had from our teacher that's a movie director, and we had Alexa. So it was a really, really good camera. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So was that something new you had to learn? Are the Alexa lenses different than the photo camera lenses? Or are they the same?
Actually, I found my photographic background very, very helpful, because sometimes I can just say, I know what shot I want, and I just say, I'll take a 50 or take an 85, and it's exactly the shot I want, when my other colleagues who don't have this background are still struggling, trying, and they tell me, no, maybe it should be 85. No, it will be 50, you will see. So I didn't see that much of a difference. It was actually very, very helpful, this background of lenses and aperture and the depth of field. So, and also my background in post-production, because I could imagine, like, I see the picture and I know what I can do with it. With the image, with the moving image, I also see the possibilities, so I know what can work better, what can work worse. So my background photography was definitely very helpful.
And are the other students in the class helping you? Because I've made 4 short films, and it's kind of overwhelming, because you're the director and you're bringing the craft service and you're hiring people and making sure they're not late, and you have a million hats. Even one of my short films I acted in, so it was like, wow, I was all over the place. It was crazy. But did you have help from the other students or friends?
Yes, we had a lot of help, actually. All the school was helping us. So I was the writer, director, and editor. But I had an assistant who was like the director's assistant of directors. So it was really, really helpful, because he was helping me organize. There were other students from my class and other students from more advanced class who were helping us, for example, with making the shots, the cameraman. And with all the logistics, yes, there was a friend who brought a van. The school helped us rent the equipment. So, and all the time there was our teacher with us. So this was definitely helpful, because I've done a few short films before the school, and it was like mission impossible.
So where can people see the short film? Is that on you? Is everything on your website? Like, you have a website,
yeah,
and it has your photography, and it has your teaching, and it has your books. Is the short film also on there?
Actually not. I think the only section I'm missing on my website is the video one. I think it's on YouTube. It's Mr. John, and there must be a link on my Facebook page. But yes, the section of video is the missing one on my page still.
Right. That's cool. And do you want to tell, we'll do it at the end also, but do you want to tell people, while I bring up your book, what your website is and how they can find it?
So my website is aleksandragalert.com. It's Aleksandra with KS. And so there you can find my pictures, more information about me. There's also my blog and my free audio training, because now, except of being a photographer, I'm focusing also on helping other artists become full-time artists, work full-time on what they love, because I see too many people who never even try it. They tell me, oh, it's risky being an artist, and I will just take this safe career, and I'm like heartbroken. I'm like, you are so amazing. Why are you doing it to yourself? And I read somewhere that 70% of people hate their jobs, and I was like, yes. Whoa, that's so huge. And I believe if more people would do what they love, the world would be a better place. And I think many people of those who never try are those who are creatives and artists, and that's why I'm focusing now on this.
That's fantastic. And I also read that 70%, 75% of people who go to school for something don't do that career. They end up doing something else. But there is a woman, her name is Ashley King, and she's in the UK, and I interviewed her a couple weeks ago, and she has a very similar thing to you. So I think it would be great for you to contact her.
Sure.
She's a creative consultant, and she does events. She's also a podcaster, but she has this podcast called Nurture Your Zest, and it's about how to unleash your creativity. And everybody's like, I got a job and I have kids and I can't do it and I don't have the time. And her whole podcast is about letting your creative out and making time for it. So I don't think it's the exact same thing, but it's very similar, and you guys might...
that could work.
be able to cross promote or help each other. So yeah, I'll give you that name again at the end if you want.
Great.
So let's talk about this book. This is, I used to have a black cat called Feldman, and I made 3 children's books about my black cat. I'm trying to publish them on Apple or Amazon or whatever, but I keep doing podcasts. But so tell us about this book. It's a fantasy book?
Yes,
this is your book.
Yes, this is my book. It's a fantasy novel of approximately 460 pages. It has been published in last December in Poland because it's in Polish because obviously it's my mother tongue, and if I write, it's novel, I have to write it in Polish. There's no way I write it.
Yeah.
No way I write it in any other language. The funny thing about the cat is that everybody notices the cat, and I didn't want the cat on the cover. And because for me it was just a funny element of the book, of the story, and my editor told me no, it's very important for marketing, and I was so angry. I told to my best friend, if I would have known that they will make me this thing, I would remove this cat from my book, literally. but everybody talks about the cat.
And you know what? I know you didn't know about that movie Cujo with the crazy dog who bites everybody, but I just thought that the cat was going to do something like come back from the dead, or I don't know.
Well,
be on her back while she's flying. I don't know what is the story of the book?
Well, it's a very important character, the cat. Well, the story is about a young girl who doesn't know her parents. She lives with a wizard and an older guy. And this wizard always travels. She would like to travel with him because the city she lives in is very gray and sad, but he never lets her. And then someday there are some weird, hooded these figures appearing in the city, and the wizard goes on a trip and disappears, and so she has to escape from the city and make this big trip to find this wizard that is her friend. And on the way she discovers really who she is. She has friends, and this trip, that she's always been dreaming about is not exactly what she has always imagined, and it's a lot about growing up, like this story.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I don't have a lot of fantasy books in my bookshelf back here, but I think it's a very cool cover. I love the colors. I don't know what else to say, but maybe someone out there will love it.
The cover, but there are two.
Oh, you dislike it?
There are two voices. Some people, there's love or hate. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
There are many people tell me I love it, but there are others who tell me I've never seen such an ugly cover. So I'm like, okay.
Very cool. Yeah, so I would never say that. So that's not going to happen. So let's go to your ebook. It's going to make it a little smaller here. And this is part of becoming the full-time artist, right? Which was what I was going to ask you. So,
yes.
So if you want to talk about that.
So this book comes from my experience because after I moved from Poland to Italy, I was trying to find a job. I was just graduated in law, and for around 8 months, I couldn't find a job here in Italy, and I was really depressed because I said, okay, I have 3 degrees, I speak 5 languages, and I can't even get an interview for a secretary, and I was really depressed at that time. And at some point, I just decided, well, okay, I'm putting so much effort into getting a career I will hate most probably, so why not, as it's already going so bad it can't be worse, why not find something that I may actually like? And so I decided to become a fashion photographer. And actually, in around 6 months, I managed to work full time as a fashion photographer. And so I used all the skills that I learned studying before about business and marketing and all the modern ways that are actually these they are supposed to make things faster, right? So it's not like this traditional path, because when I first arrived to Milan, I asked one photographer, oh, what do you advise me? How should I do it? Told me, well, you should become an assistant of a photographer or work in a studio as an assistant for many years, and then make connections, take pictures, create a portfolio, and maybe in 10 years you will be able to start on your own. I was like, no way. It's not that I, left my legal career to now carry bags for 10 years, especially if I'm small, and it's, being an assistant is a really heavy job for me because all those lights, all those equipment, it's for me a challenge. Yeah. So I was like, no way. And I just decided to do it a bit my way, finding other solutions, and I managed. So this ebook is an essence of everything that I've learned during this process, of what I've done, what worked and what didn't work for me, what not to focus on and what to pay attention to start earning as soon as possible, and to make this, maybe it's not a become a millionaire book, or I'm not making these promises you can't keep. It comes from my own experience. So it's not that you can start taking pictures for Chanel or Vogue in 6 months. It's still on my list.
Right.
It's still coming. But what I say is that you can keep building your experience, your portfolio, and your business while you are already working in it. So you are already making money from it. And on this, you keep working to arrive to the higher levels. So this is my point, because, other times you have to, I have this a 9-to-5 job and I would like to take these pictures or do something, but I don't have the time. This is the point, to have the time and money to work on what you actually care about.
Yes, and I totally agree with that, because I was a video editor for 25 years, and now I'm into this podcast thing and now video casting, and I am fully into it. I am applying for jobs in podcasting, being a podcast producer, editor, whatever, and I guess I would take a job as a video editor, because I left a company a year ago and I have severance, but I don't know. I'm really going for it. I really want to work in a company that does podcasts and still do my podcasts, but then work on other people's podcasts. Because right now it's my thing. It's what I love right now. And I'm kind of, kind of sick of the video thing. It's sitting in a dark room 8-10 hours a day, doing very cool stuff. But when you've done pretty much everything, it's like, okay, let's try something else.
Yeah.
So this is a very cool thing. So just tell us about your website, and you said you did some audio training. Like, this is you just have the floor. Tell us about whatever you want to tell us about your business.
So yes, on my website there is the form to get my free audio training, because when I talk to artists, who ask me for advice, the thing that I hear most often is, I lack motivation because I don't know how to start and I don't know what my next step should be. And inspired by this and hearing it so many times, I've created this audio training that is from a hobbyist to a full-time artist in 5 steps. And it's around 20 minutes training where I talk about 5 major steps, what you have to do and what the whole process looks like, so that you always have an idea what to do, and so that you never we are never stuck again. So it's a kind of a roadmap. Also, because many artists are like, I don't have enough of this, I don't have enough of that, I don't know how to start. So are finding all the excuses not to actually start pursuing this career. So that's why I created this free audio training, so that it's like an inspiration and a roadmap for them to know how the whole process looks like, what the whole process looks like, how to start, what to do, and to give them an idea how to keep going.
Very cool. And there are lots of people like that also in the podcast industry, or constantly on the Facebook groups, and they're asking, I want to do it. I'm kind of shy. I don't like my voice. And those people need a push. But I don't know if you're the same way as me. I'm an artist and I've always created stuff, and I'll just done a painting in 20 years, and then I'll just go and buy a canvas and start painting because I just feel like today I need to paint and I don't know why. Nobody's telling me I need to paint. I haven't decided to paint. I just feel it and I go and paint, or I go and make, all right, I got to make this short film because of this and blah, blah, blah. I got to make a podcast now. It's just what I have to do. And it's just coming from somewhere. I don't want to say God, but it's coming from somewhere. And it's just, I always need to make things and I can't stop it. And I'm just a creative person. So do you feel you're more like that you're always making stuff because you do so many things?
Yes, it's like I have this exactly the feelings you are saying, that there are things coming from inside and you just have to do it. So sometimes I literally say to my husband, I have a pain, like physical pain of not taking pictures. I'm getting crazy. And, where people tell me, just go to the garden and take pictures of the flowers. I'm like, no, it's not about it. I want to make a photo shoot. Okay, let's find a model, makeup artist, and then do something. Even if I just go with this model to this park, but I have to do something that I like, and it's not just about clicking, and taking pictures. It's about doing something I like. And that's exactly how I started writing the book. I never considered it might be published. I just started writing because it popped in my head, and something was telling me to do it.
I don't know what that thing is. I don't know what it is, but some people have it, and it's just like this creativity bug inside them that makes them do stuff. All right. Well, lastly, I would just ask you, and we'll wrap it up, Alex, do you have any advice for people who want to do, I mean, you've kind of talked about it a little bit, but if you want to talk some more just about people who want to be a photographer or be a writer, or what is that thing that you would say that got you to do it? Besides the little bug inside, was there anything else that got you to do these things?
So I think the most important part to actually do it is applying this active mindset, that all the cliche phrases they tell you, like sky's the limit and you can get everything you want. Yes, it's all true, but there's a but that they don't talk about. But it's up to you, but you have to get it and you have to be active. Because if you just sit and wish, oh, I want to be a singer, I want to be an actor, opportunities won't come your way. Opportunities come if you keep doing stuff. Like one of my favorite quotes is, luck favors the prepared mind. I read it in the screenwriting book, and I think it's exactly this. You just have to, try anything that comes to your mind. Just start right now, no matter how little you know, no matter how you feel unprepared. When I decided to become a fashion photographer, I was in a new country. I didn't know any models, any makeup artist, nobody. I was in a small town in Italy. I wasn't in Milan at the time. And I didn't know really nobody here. So I had no idea how to start. My only idea was, let's invest time into Instagram, because it was the only idea I had. I didn't know anything else how to do. And so I started posting on Instagram, studying. I bought a course, and after a month I got a message from a fashion blogger from India telling me, hi, I'm coming for the Milan Fashion Week. Would you like to take pictures of me during the shows, entering the backstage of the shows, and so on. But I did the smallest thing that popped into my head: post on Instagram and study Instagram. And this opportunity would never come my way if I wouldn't do this thing that might seem silly or crazy or not leading. So whatever, no matter how small the step, just start and try doing, scrolling through Facebook groups, talking to people, whatever. This is how the snowball starts rolling.
Yes. I totally agree. And I don't want to get into my whole life and all the different things that I've done, but I feel like life is just a blur and it just goes by very quickly. And there are some times when life is slow. It's weird. Like in high school, you can't wait to leave and get out. But I do feel like when I die someday, I want to feel like I've done things. I don't want to feel like I just went to this 9-to-5 job for 30 years and paid for my, kids' college. Like I feel like I want to just be like, you know what? I traveled a bunch. I did a bunch of theaters. I made some films. Like I did stuff. It's okay. I'm fine with it. It's okay. So I totally get what you're saying. And I think it's inspiring for people. That's why I love doing this. I love talking to artists and podcasters and actors and directors, because they are creative people, just think differently. They make things and they want to get out there and they want to help. This has been awesome. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And do you want to just mention your website again? What was the website address?
Website is Aleksandra Galert, Aleksandra with KS, GALERT.com.
Okay, cool. Well, we have your name is here. You if you look at the Facebook, you can see the first part of your name with the Di Gesaro. But yeah, people will find it.
It's my surname before I got married, so
right.
I didn't change the link. So,
well, thank you so much for doing this, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me, and yeah, wish you luck too. And it was really amazing to talk to you.
Awesome. And I just love your photography, so I'll be checking out your website from time to time. And take care and have a great day. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Lights Camera Pro podcast, where entertainment pros talk about how they made their dream into a career.
Go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and subscribe, rate, and review. Thanks to Bob Juergens for the Rockin' VO and Joseph McDade for the music. Next week, we have a very special guest. Ashley King is here. She is from England, and she has a podcast called Nurture Your Zest. She's also a creative director, very interesting woman with lots of stories and a ton of energy. It's going to be fun. Check it out next week.